It might have been. Hello, we are live back from
Pennsylvania and New York.
what area is that called? North.
Well, we were in north central Pennsylvania first.
See, now it says 0.
In
That
what
doesn't mean people aren't on though.
in what they call the PA Wilds. Very, very remote. There's somebody on that one. Very, very remote area in northern Pennsylvania. And we spent 3 nights there. We were supposed to spend 2 nights at another state park in Pennsylvania. And just as we were leaving home, they canceled our reservation because they shut the park down. They had severe rains and it washed out the road to the entrance to the park. So we had to hurry up and make reservations somewhere else. We wanted to stay somewhere else in northern PA, close to our destination that got canceled. And that didn't happen. So we ended up deciding to go right on up into New York State. And we went up into the Ithaca area and we spent 2 nights at Buttermilk Falls State Park up there, and then went on up to the Thousand Islands, and then from there we came home. So all in all, it was an interesting trip.
We saw lots of waterfalls. Well, I don't like this game.
We saw waterfalls up in the Ithaca area. The state park that we stayed at has a falls called Buttermilk Falls right at its entrance. It's a very attractive waterfall. It's kind of sloping and wide. But then I looked on the internet and found out we were also less than 10 miles away from Tocanic Falls.
So I had.
Tocanic Falls.
I was going to put that on here, but I couldn't spell it.
I've told you 3 times. Taughanock.
See, it's good. Did you turn your ringer off? Because my phone's ringing.
Tocanic Falls is the highest single drop waterfall east of the Rockies. It's actually taller than Niagara Falls. It's narrow. It's not as impressive overall, but at least we can say we saw the tallest waterfalls in the east. So
the best part. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The best part about these waterfalls was we could drive right to them. We could hike a little bit if we wanted to see them, but I mean, I remember years ago in the Skyline Drive, we had to hike, I don't know, down 2 miles, 3 miles to see the waterfall, and then that meant we had to hike back up to get to the parking lot. So it was a lot, and I know I'm not in shape for hiking, so it's nice you pull right there. Plenty of photo ops. You're looking either down at one. What's the name of that one? The tallest one. Tocanic. You're looking right down at it, and Buttermilk. We're looking up at it, but we did climb up it a little bit. Oh, okay. So
we're having another tornado watch, apparently. Warning.
Okay, so my sound is off, but I don't think it matters with tornado warnings. So we have another tornado warning until 7:15. So it says take shelter. We are already in the basement, so that's not going to be an issue. So I apologize for this thing being
interruption. Yeah. So at any rate, we did the 9-day trip to 4 different state parks, and we'll tell you a little bit about each of those, and then we're also going to tell you a little bit about the problems that we encountered on the way home. Everything went fine up until we were in transit and on our way back to Jersey.
So let me say, we have a couple people here. Hi, Lisa and Glenn. So Lisa says she's from Northampton County in Pennsylvania. Do you know where that is?
Yeah, I lived in, you're talking right above Allentown?
She said the rain is coming down terrible. Well, we've already had 2 tornado watches.
Warning.
They're
Actually, warning.
warning. Is that worse?
Yeah.
And someone did call and say there was one a couple towns away. So hopefully, we'll go on here as long as we can. But I don't know if we're going to lose electric or anything.
Yeah. Well, the whole East Coast is right now in tornado zone because they said they had one even that hit down in Annapolis, Maryland, not too long ago.
So Lisa says she's from the Bangor area. Bangor, where's Bangor? Never heard of
I'm
Bangor. Isn't
not-
there a Bangor, Maine?
Yeah, there is a Bangor, Maine, but I'm not exactly sure.
We are in New Jersey, Glenn. We're about 10 miles from Philadelphia. So I have to say, on the trip so this is, we got spares here. Oh, we got spared. They only got 4 inches of rain. Where are you at, Glenn? Oh, Jersey Shore. Oh, Jersey Shore, PA. That's Glenn. We met you guys. Oh my God. Hey, they were at that campground with us. Remember? Because of the Jersey Shore.
Right.
So if anyone's on from New Jersey, it's funny when we were on that trip, we're seeing signs for the Jersey Shore, like 3 miles or 10 miles, whatever it was. And I was cracking up. And here, there's a town up there near Kettle Creek or somewhere up there called Jersey Shore. And then when we were camping, we met people in the campground. And when I asked them where they're from, they said they were from the Jersey Shore. So I thought that was funny. When you guys left on Sunday, Glenn, it poured. It poured right after that. And we were out of there the next day. We didn't stay 2 extra days. The flies were horrible. We went to 3 more campgrounds after that. Like Rick had said, we had went to Kettle Creek. The one place had gotten rain, flooded out the road, so we had to pick. We had a choice of staying 2 extra days at Kettle Creek or picking a different place. We didn't stay because the black flies were biting so horrible. So we moved on to Buttermilk Falls in Ithaca, and then we went to Selkirk Shores.
Selkirk Shores, which is on the eastern shore of Lake Ontario.
Right. And then
Then on up to Crings Point State Park, which is right in the Thousand Islands, close to Alexandria Bay.
so it was neat. We got to see so much. Well, first Kettle Creek, I guess, runs off of what, the Susquehanna River?
Well, Kettle Creek is a creek, but yeah, it's near the west branch of the Susquehanna, up in what they call the PA Wilds.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the PA Wilds. I'm a city girl. I've never been from such a remote area in my life. We didn't get to see any elk because I hear there's elk up there. But it was beautiful, except for the flies. So we got to see, the vista points. Glenn, I don't know if you guys went up. Did we talk to you about that? I don't remember. At Kettle Creek, there was a really, really nice
Drive up to this, what's called Kettle Creek Vista. And
what's Ben's at?
it overlooks the dammed up portion of Kettle Creek and the state park, and you're facing kind of northeast, and behind all of that is just row after row of mountains.
Beautiful.
And you could see it. It looked like you could see for 100 miles up there. It was phenomenal. And so we've got a video that we're going to post it where I spoke about.
Oh, that's right. He shot a bear down there as a kid.
The fact that I shot a bear when I was 12 years old in this area.
Yeah, that was shot up there on that point.
And just a beautiful vista backdrop behind me as I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
And we went from there. We headed up to the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania, and on the way we also went to Heiner View Vista, which is an
Such
area.
a funny name,
Yeah.
Heiner View.
Yeah, I get a giggle out of it every time I say it, but Heinerview is an area where they actually have a wooden ramp in front of the observation area looking down into the valley. And they launch hang gliders up there and fly out over.
None when we were there.
None when we were there, though.
And we're going to have videos up of all of this. I mean, of all 4 places that we were at, and then I think that I'm working on an overview of just all of them on the next video coming up probably in 2 weeks.
So we did Heinerview and Grand Canyon and PA both as a day trip on our way heading into New York. And then we got up in the Ithaca area. We spent 2 nights at this Buttermilk Falls State Park, and Buttermilk Falls is right there at the entrance of the park. So we got some video of that and some stills. And while we were there, we went 10 miles away to this Taconic Falls. We also went to a park that's right on the outskirts of Ithaca. It's right on the southern tip of Lake Cayuga, which is one of the Finger Lakes.
I think they call it Cayuga Lake.
Yeah, Cayuga Lake.
That was cool. That was huge.
That was big. And then, of course, we got up to Lake Ontario, and Sharon thought it was like the ocean.
Yeah, it was. So we saw we saw Great Lake, we saw the Finger Lakes, we saw the Thousand Islands, waterfalls, and some vistas, but no bear and no elk. Benzet is an elk museum, Glenn is saying, and they have a lot of elk out to see.
Yeah.
Cool. No, Glenn, we didn't make it there.
We didn't go over into the actual elk area in PA. We realized it was, just a short distance away, but Sharon opted not to do that. We were hoping that we would see the elk there right at Kettle Creek. I understand there aren't that many of them. Oh, and while we were at Kettle Creek, besides talking about the bear, we actually went right outside the property that I hunted on, and there's one of those road monumental markers there describing the man that owned the land that I hunted on. He was kind of a historical figure and a local character. He was the first man to ever drill for natural gas in Pennsylvania. His name was Dorsey Calhoun, but he hunted the property where my father and I went bear hunting. And he bought a used gas rig. He had 2,500 acres of ground, and he had the rig parked up near his house over the winter months because they get a lot of snow up there. In the spring, when the snow melted, they decided they were going to take the rig out and try and take it up on the mountain and drill a well. And they got it down in the middle of the field in front of his house, and they got it stuck so bad they couldn't even get it out. The ground was so soft there. So Dorsey, being the ever optimist, just said, well, I guess we'll just set it up here and drill. And that's what they did. And he drilled his first well. It was 5,962 feet deep, but they hit gas. And that well actually produced something like 15 million cubic feet per day. But when the word got out, all the gas companies from the Southwest came in and they bought up the mineral rights to as much property as they could get their hands on. And within about 10 years, they pretty much had all the gas drilled out of the whole area. Now they're going back in on these properties and they're getting more gas by using these fracking techniques. And so it's an area that's producing some gas again, and I guess it helps the employment in that area because there's not a lot of industry up there. And it is big, rugged country.
Oh, it's beautiful. So I'm looking back at the comments. Lisa in Northampton County said she's the Bangor area, which she said is just south of the Poconos.
Okay.
Maybe that's where we were broke down.
No, we were still kind of up in the Poconos. So anyway, we go through this, and on our final day, which was our day driving home, the first catastrophe struck when we stopped at a Denny's restaurant, and I pulled the trailer around to the rear of the building. They had parking back there, and it looked like the driveway went all the way around the building. Unfortunately,
It did.
It didn't. They had it blocked off because they had the pavement broken up around the, looked like a manhole cover or something. They had cones there. And just wasn't enough room to get the trailer through. So we went in and ate. We came out, and of course, I got to turn the trailer around. Well, I backed up a little and turned a little too hard backing up. And I had a tongue mount toolbox with a spare tire mounted on it. I turned hard enough that I actually snapped the screws that held it down to the tongue, and it cocked it about 6 inches over. So I had to clear a place in the back of the van and take the spare tire off, put the spare tire in the trailer, and then put the toolbox into the back of the van. That's not that bad. There's no real damage done other than a little inconvenience, and I'll get some little heavier screws or some U-bolts and rebolt that again.
Not a big deal.
Not a big
But that's
deal.
only
That
the
was
first
that was
issue.
the first issue.
Hang on, when you say hi, living on sunshine, 25. You're not late, you're a perfect time. Hi from Ohio. I don't know what the weather's like there.
It's got to be better than ours.
Well, that storm probably already came through, right?
Well, this is coming up out of the southwest. I don't even know if they're catching the western edge of it or not.
Yeah, they may not be getting
But-
it. So the whole East Coast is kind of getting
Yeah,
storms
I was looking at our local radar just before we went on, and we still have a fairly strong cell, but not as bad as what we had in the last 2 hours. One more strong cell for the next 30 minutes or so coming over us.
So let me say this. We're going to do the drawing live, okay? Hi, Marge. She's from New Jersey. So we're going to do the drawing live. I was planning on doing it at around 7:30, okay? Hopefully we don't lose electric or anything. We've had 2 tornado warnings, but hopefully it's not going to be an issue. So we'll probably do that at 7:30. If you're not already registered for that drawing, let me put this up. You have to go to the one video that says where it's the giveaway contest and put the comment in that video that says free gift. I think, let's see, this will work. I believe that's the link to the video. So if you haven't put that in there, we'll probably draw it in like 10 minutes or so. But it's ampersand hashtag.
Pound sign or hashtag free gift 1.
And we'll be drawing for some kind of merchandise from our store. It's going to be a T-shirt or a coffee mug. Sorry it couldn't be a car, like I said originally, like Mr. Big, but that would have been cool. Maybe he'll sponsor us and we'll let us give away a car. All right, hang on, we got some comments. Southeast Ohio. I don't know. Marge, where are you from in New Jersey, and are you getting bad weather? So we had a great time on the trip. Okay, we're spending 8 days in 72 square feet of space. I'm surprised we didn't kill each other. And it's probably actually only 60 square feet because the back is a kitchen section. So no issues. We drove thousands of miles. Wait, 1,000 miles?
Over 1,000 miles altogether, yeah, with all our side trips and whatnot during the days.
So aside for the mishap in Denny's, Jackson. Okay, yeah, Jackson gets some. That's not too far from us. Great adventure.
Yeah.
So aside from the mishap in Denny's and this other huge one, we had no issue. So I'll tell you about this one. This was.
So the next issue was we needed gas. We were out on the turnpike on the Northeast Extension, and of course there were no. I was hoping that we would hit a service area on the turnpike, and we didn't. So we saw an exit, and Sharon goes, "There's gas at this one. Let's get off." So we got off there.
Don't blame it on me. Okay, do not blame it on me. I wanted to get gas sooner.
Anyway, we got off this exit. The gas station was like a quarter of a mile off the exit, and it was a right-hand turn into the gas station. Well, I looked as we were approaching the gas station. I did notice that on the right-hand side of their driveway entrance, there was a puddle there. But I just glanced at it because I was looking more up in front of the station at the pumps.
Not a puddle.
Just
Not a
let me
puddle.
finish. I'm looking at the pumps. I'm trying to defend myself here. Looking at the pumps to see how I was going to pull in and approach them and whether there are any vehicles in the way. Well, about that time, I made it to the driveway, and this puddle turned out more like a swimming pool.
It was a huge pothole.
It
And
was a
I'm
big
yelling,
pothole.
ho, ho, ho. I'm thinking, what is wrong with him? Why is
So-
he taking this camper through this? It's not a four-wheel drive, like rugged thing. He didn't see it though.
I didn't think it was anything other than a puddle, and I didn't look back at it. So anyway, the right tire of the trailer went into it, and I mean, it really slammed. So we pull up to the gas pump. I get out and I walk around the vehicle, and the right tire on the trailer is now going flat. So I start putting some gas in it, and Sharon says, "Don't even bother filling it. They have an air pump on the side. We'll pull around to the air pump." So I stop pumping the gas. We back the trailer over where they have this air pump, which is coin operated. And I put a couple coins in, and it didn't work. But I got underneath and I looked in the back, and sure enough, the rim on the inside of the tire was bent, and figured that's where it's leaking air. It was bent pretty good. So I said, well, we got to change it. So we took the spare out of the trailer, I jacked the trailer up, I get my socket set out, and the last time these tires were mounted on the trailer, I had bought a set of tires, but I took them to a service place. They put my tires on my existing, or the new tires on my existing rims, and of course they put them on with an impact gun. Well, I couldn't get them off with a socket set. I went in the van because the lugs for my van are the same size as the trailer, but because I have these grease bearings on there, they have a special cap in the middle of the rim, which was so close to the lugs. The lug wrench for my van, because a 1-ton van is very heavy duty, the metal thickness was too big to be able to slip it between this cap and get it on the lug nuts. So there we were, and we called a auto parts store that was 4 miles away, and they had a cross handle lug wrench, which I was getting ready to go and get. And lo and behold, as I'm there getting ready to unhook the trailer and do a run to get this lug wrench, a guy pulls in with a pickup truck hauling a cargo trailer. So Sharon went over and asked him if he had a lug wrench that would fit our trailer that we could borrow. And he said, I got something. And a couple of minutes later, he came walking over with a little tool bag, and he has a DeWalt, I guess it was a 20 or a 24 volt DeWalt, heavy duty, 1/2-inch drive, battery operated impact gun, and a socket that fit my lugs. And it took them off like butter. So I went ahead and put the spare on. And I checked the air, and it needed air. So I had luckily a little air compressor in the trailer. And I went inside and asked if I could use their electric to plug it in and finish pumping this tire up. And they told me I could.
That was so nice of them, since their pothole caused the flat
Well,
tire.
they say, since it's so close to the highway, they say it's PennDOT's pothole. It's not really their property because it's in the highway right of way. So I don't blame them one bit for that. But if I were the business owner there, I would have invested in a couple of those orange cones and maybe put them out so that other people, and we know that somebody else had done the same thing and came in and complained to them about it. But I'd have bought some orange cones or something and put in front of that thing. And then I'd have kept calling the state and bugging them about trying to get it repaired. Just to leave it like that for car after car after car to do damage. Now, the worst part of it is still ahead. I got this spare tire on, I got air in it, I've already gotten enough gas to drive home with. And I walk behind the trailer and I look at it, and usually my tires on the trailer are pretty vertical. But this right-hand tire is now cocked. The bottom, a little bit, not too terribly bad. But I'm looking at it and I know it's not right. Something's bent. So I get underneath again and I'm looking and looking, because there's like 3 places where this could have been bent to cause this kind of damage. I wasn't sure what it was, but my first fear was that it was the spindle had somehow broken loose from the bracket. So I said to Sharon, we're going to kind of limp along slow. We're going to stop every few miles initially to make sure this isn't getting any worse. I'm afraid the spindle might come out and break. So we did that. And we also got off of the main highways. We got down on Interstate 80 and kind of limped across 80 into New Jersey at the Delaware Water Gap. And then we took back roads from there down to Trenton just to be safe.
It took forever.
And it took us about an extra 3 hours till it was all said and done between dealing with the tire and the additional drive time. But we got home and I look underneath, and it appears to me that the axle shaft itself actually got bent. This thing hit that pothole so hard that it collapsed my leaf spring to where the U-bolts that hold the leaf spring to the axle actually went up and hit the frame of the trailer. And I guess it couldn't go anymore, so it forced the axle to bend. So on Monday, we took it to one of the local cargo trailer dealers here that has a pretty good sized service department. Oh, and incidentally, I called 3 different shops. One of them told me they were 3 weeks out. Another one said they were 2 weeks out in terms of getting to anything. That's how backlogged they were. And the one I ended up taking it to told me about a week. So I've yet to hear anything from them on a price, but I'm anticipating that this axle, if it is in fact bent the way I think, and they just will replace it. There is a way, kind of a piecemeal way or a jerry-rig way to fix them, but as a dealer, they won't take that liability. They're just going to put a new axle under it. So I figure it's going to cost me, a little mistake, it's going to cost me another $600, between $500 and $600.
I'm just glad I wasn't driving, because you would probably still be yelling. And I've never driven the trailer anyway. But I think, you know, in your defense, I think from your angle it looked like a puddle. From my angle, and I think it was because the pothole was kind of sloped. From your angle, it was just a little bit of water. But my angle, I saw a huge hole I could see.
Yeah, I could see water, and I could see about maybe 1.25 inches of asphalt above the water level. Well, dumb me, it doesn't tell me how deep the water is.
Yeah, so lesson learned, but thank God we made it home.
So
it took forever, and no incidents.
We're both a bundle of nerves after that, and the whole way home, because we're not sure of the stability of the axle.
Well, I didn't even know about the spindle.
Yeah, I didn't even tell her until we got home that it's a possibility that the spindle broke loose and that it could have actually come off the axle and we'd have lost the wheel. Because
we had seriously contemplated staying overnight there. We were where? Out right in the Poconos?
Yeah, we were somewhere up above Scranton, I think, but in the Scranton area.
We had considered maybe staying overnight, but the next day would have been Sunday, and we didn't know where a trailer dealer was around that could fix it.
Nobody would have been open on a Sunday anyway, so we'd ended up staying on Monday, and then trying to find somebody who would probably have told us, "Sorry, yeah, well, we can take care of you, but it'll be 3 weeks."
Well, you know what? When we take our long 8-day trips, so we travel once a month. We go away 1 weekend a month, and then this past year we've done 2
week-long or longer trips. Yeah.
Right, and on both week-long trips, we had car issues coming back. The one was with the Explorer door. And that was just, she was old. She needed some spark plugs or something. But that cost $500 too.
Yeah, so it's all said and done.
Hi, Hubcaps. I see you there. So you're in Wisconsin. That's the state of many lakes, right?
And dairy cattle.
and cheese.
I just saw a photograph of a car in Wisconsin in the drive-through of a McDonald's with a cow in the back seat looking out the window. And somebody said, don't need to put a sign on that one. It's from Wisconsin.
So we were talking about the black flies. I mean, I think I had 30 flies on my leg at one time. Glenn and because you were there. The black flies were horrible. I guess it's only when it's humid and there was just a storm.
We're right on the creek there too. So.
Yeah. So, but the good thing about the black flies, we're going away again next month. We're going to Assateague. Well, actually this month, in a couple of weeks. Just for a couple of days, we're going to Assateague. And we were there before, and the mosquitoes can be bad and the greenheads. So the difference with the black flies is, they bite, they hurt, but they don't kind of itch so much afterwards. The greenheads and mosquitoes, they can itch like crazy.
Yeah, we have flies here, but they don't bite. Those flies up there in Kettle Creek, those things have fangs.
Yeah. So Hubcap's is saying beer, cheese, and brats. Oh, he said he saw that picture too. So it's 7:33. Should I pick this random winner? Because I actually tested it and I know how to do it. So
that's a good thing, It's like if you didn't test it, oh, sorry, this didn't work. You're screwed.
no, I could throw them in a hat and pull them. There's not that many people that entered, and it's not like this humongous prize. So I assume everyone who wanted to enter has entered. All right, so why? Oh, okay. So when I go up here, no, there's a delay on this, so I want to make sure that this is working. No, it's a drum roll. So we put the video in. I did that. Filter duplicate users, what's the matter? There's not many comments. Filter comments based on, okay, so it was, why do I keep saying ampersand? What's an ampersand?
That's an and sign.
This is a hashtag, or what did we call it?
Pound sign.
A pound sign.
Or number sign.
All right, free gift one. Okay, so get YouTube comments. I'm running this. No, I want to wait a second. Because we have a I think a 10-second delay. Let me close this. I want them to be able to see it on their screen, and I'm not. Oh, all right. So give me a couple seconds. Yeah, I have to hit that start button. But I want to see if that's. I don't see that it switched over yet.
No.
But I don't know if it's going to.
I don't know.
Because I think it would have done it by now. So that's that screen. This screen. Yeah, maybe they don't see it. All right, you're going to have to trust me. I can film with you.
Camera light's strong.
Yeah, I can film it with this. So, all right. So I'm putting, I can't believe I'm filming this. What happened to the start button?
You already hit it.
No, there was start down here. There it is. Okay. So I click start, and we see the random names coming up, which you guys don't see.
There's a winner.
So our winner is Miss E.
Ruse?
HRUZ. So that is the winner, Miss HRUZ. Okay, so I don't know if you're on here now, but what you need to do now is send us an email. I'll put our email up. We're at ricksharon9@comcast.net.
Should come back out of it.
Oh, I say Gmail, you're right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. ricksharon9@gmail.com. So, Miss
Ruse, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Miss H. Hruz, Hruz. You are the winner, and you get to pick a T-shirt or a coffee cup. So I don't know how we'll do this. So she's the winner. So email us within. I guess if we don't hear from you in 2 weeks, we'll have to pick somebody else.
Or we'll just, if we have an address for you, we'll just send you a shirt or a coffee mug, whatever you want.
Well, you're gonna have to let us know, your address, and I'm gonna have to order the shirt or the coffee mug.
So you need a size for a shirt if you want. So let us know.
So if we don't hear from you, then yes, I will have to pick somebody else. So. Alrighty, so good. So I'm glad that we did that. That wasn't too bad. I just really wanted that to show. So I'd say, I was on, well, it was a much bigger prize I got, but I got a subscription to TubeBuddy for a year, and it's the top line, which means that our video numbers, our analytic numbers should be way better. But I got to start using TubeBuddy more, and because it's a great tool. It really is to if you're a content creator. So when I entered that contest, it was the same way. I put in my a comment, but I saw them run it right there on the screen, and that's what I was hoping to do, but I couldn't figure that part out.
And she said she won TubeBuddy. I thought that was like a pack of hot dog buns or something.
No, it's better. It was probably about, I don't know, maybe a $600 prize. So maybe, well, that's what they sell it for.
Right.
A subscription for that. So very good. So hopefully we'll have bigger and better, and I don't know about more giveaways in the future.
Next year we're going to do, first prize will be a 1-week vacation in Kettle Creek in fly season. Second prize will be a 2 weeks vacation in Kettle Creek.
Hang on, I want to type the name of this winner. It was Miss
Hruz.
Okay. So like that. Okay. So there we go. That's the winner. And like I said, I don't know if she's watching now or not. I don't know. I don't know how we'll do that. I don't know how people do that with. I could put it in the community tab. I could put it on the Facebook, but I'm not sure how many people even look at that. So.
One of the, we had this accident with the trailer, and of course we were both, like I said, a bundle of nerves on the way down. And I'm also a little miffed that I know that this is going to be a little cash out of pocket to take care of. Actually, kind of a substantial amount. But two things occurred to me on the way home. One, we had passed a pretty serious accident on the opposite side of the highway while we were coming down on Route 81 out of New York. And I said to Sharon, we're upset about this, but I said we should be grateful because, we could have been us over there on the other side of the road in that accident. And the other thing I got thinking about that I was grateful for is that, at least this is our home built trailer. If we'd have been pulling a camper and hit that thing, everything in the inside would have probably come off the walls, cabinets, paneling, the whole 9 yards because of the way that a lot of them are put together.
That's true.
But, I guess I did a pretty good job because all my cabinets are still up. It doesn't look like anything moved or buckled or anything in the trailer.
No, I didn't really see.
So it just hope that my refrigerator is still running and that we had our gas generator on board. I hope it didn't do any damage to that from the jarring, but our rack with cooking spoons and utensils, the utensils came off the rack and were laying on the floor in the back and some other stuff, but really it took that shot pretty good.
It was funny. We had just posted yesterday. We had interviewed a trailer dealer, and I know he could fix the trailer, but I wasn't sure if he would have the right part in stock right there because he doesn't have a lot of cargoes in his inventory right now.
Not any right now, actually. So.
Yeah, they're tough to get.
And
Hey, Bill. No, we didn't have an accident. There's Bill from I Ride Tiny Houses. How you doing, guys? No, Rick must have thought I don't know if you saw that off-road trailer that we had on a video of. It was 4-wheel extreme off-road. I think he thought he had one of those, and I mean, he decided to take on this pothole, and we lost. So
we actually bent a rim and bent an axle, Bill. That's how bad it was.
So, we went 1,000 miles. Okay, we had no issues until we go into Denny's. Then you snap the
toolbox off the tongue.
And Bill, I always think of you when you say, "Get the longer tongue." Okay, and you're absolutely right. I mean, because that's twice you snapped that thing off.
Actually, I've done it more than that. She just said no about it. What happened before I met her.
Yeah. So the longer tongue, and then pulling in to get gas, and I'm relieved, sort of.
And
yeah, well, it could have been way worse. Like I said, we took probably 3 extra hours getting home. We almost didn't know if we were just going to stay overnight. At that point, we didn't know the axle was bent. He had a strong suspicion it was probably bent because the tire was a little bit cocked.
But in the course of doing this too, Bill, and for anybody else that's interested, pass this along. My trailer is now 8 years old. I've had it for 7 years as a work trailer. And I did put another set of tires on it, I think just before I met Sharon. So it's been 2 years. And at the time I had these tires mounted, I told them to grease the wheels. Now this thing has these grease bearings, what they refer to as bearing buddies. So that's probably how they grease the bearings. But we did this video with this boat dealer or boat trailer dealer, and he was talking about a couple things. And then I saw another video on YouTube, and for an 8-year-old trailer, these things probably should have had the wheels pulled, the bearings cleaned and repacked, not just use the grease fittings. Because at the time that we had this flat and I got the spare mounted on it, since I wasn't sure what happened with the axle to cause it to be cocked like this, we stopped like at 10 miles. I wanted to check and make sure too that the lugs stayed on tight. And I grabbed a hold of the top of the tire and I shook it. And there was actually, at first I thought it was the lugs had loosened up, but they hadn't. But I could feel there was some slop in that bearing. It needed to have the castle nuts retightened, or like I said, it probably should have had the hubs pulled and the bearings repacked. And that trailer was only 8 years old. I had my previous trailer for about 16 years before I actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I had a problem with that. I lost a wheel bearing on that.
What kind was
Pulling in
that?
on a job. That was a cargo trailer, but it was a Hallmark brand.
Oh.
So.
Because according to Max, neither one of these are quality trailers.
No,
so I'm surprised they even last that.
But as far as axles go on the cargo trailers, on the lightweight ones like these single axle trailers, it's usually a 3,500 pound axle, which is not the heaviest steel in the world. And
I don't know if y'all saw, we put a video up yesterday of a trailer dealer named Max that we interviewed. A lot of people seem like they liked the video. I was surprised. I wasn't sure if it's not rocket science, the information he's given, but at the same time, it's good information. And I don't know anything about trailers, but I think a lot of people what we do is we just hook our trucks up and we pull it.
Right.
And that's all we really know about it. So he had a lot of wisdom. He's a good guy. I know Max. Max used to ride motorcycles with my husband, and Max rode motorcycles to get together in a big bad Christian biker club years ago. Neither one of them. Well, my husband's passed away, but Max doesn't ride anymore either. Because how old did he say he was?
72.
72. But back in the day, those guys knew each other and they rode it. And I knew he had that shop. When we had a boat, we used to take our boat over there, and he used to be the mechanic to take care of the boat. So I know he's a good guy. I know he's knowledgeable. So, I wanted somebody that would talk about quality trailers, and I don't think that we really have one, but it was interesting if you guys want to check that video out.
But, my point is, on an automobile, I think the maintenance schedule only calls for you to pull the front wheels off and repack the bearings every 100,000 miles. On these cargo trailers, that's not the case. And these things, because they put these bearing buddies on, they make you think that that's all you got to do is squirt a little grease in there from time to time. And that's not right. They should really be checked out to see if there's any slop in the bearing. If you can grab a hold of the wheel and you hear or feel any motion and stopping, then those bearings aren't right. They probably should be repacked at that point and have the castle nuts retorqued. And that way somebody can actually look at the bearings and determine if there's any wear. The other thing is, if you had a wheel bearing go in your car, you'd hear it. But back on that trailer, all kinds of stuff can go wrong and be a catastrophe before you're ever become aware of it. So I'm saying I think everybody should, really take a hard look at their trailers annually would be the best bet. It's that axle. It's the most important thing. That's what keeps it off the ground.
Yeah.
And makes it go.
Well, Bill, I don't remember what night you were live, but we were at the one campground. The one campground, we didn't have any signal at all, but I got, I subscribed to your channel and I clicked the bell, so I knew you were going live. I got a notification. So we were outside watching it at the campground. And I had told you that we were 7 days on the road and how cool it was that we were thinking about the possibility of full-time. Let me tell you, by the time we got home, that ride was so stressful. Okay. We lived in 60 square feet for, 60 really, because the trailer's 6 by 12, right?
Keep going. I'm making notes here. 2 rolls of duct tape, one for the vehicle, one for you.
The trailer's 6 by 12, but you have part of it
Right.
is really the kitchen part
Right.
that's
So-
only
so-
accessible from the back.
Which is about 1.5 feet. So
So-
we're really at a little over 60 square feet interior in the trailer.
So 60 to 72 square feet is what we lived in. Okay. And I'll tell you, we got home, I was dancing in our kitchen. I'm like, oh my God, it's so big in here. And our house isn't even that big, but the kitchen's big. So I don't know. I don't know about full timing. And I don't think you could ever part with your stuff. You have too much stuff.
Right.
So, I don't know what you do. You have to part with all that stuff. But
Yeah, we can full time. I just need to buy a piece of ground and have a barn on it somewhere.
no, it was great though. And like I said, it's a part of the country that I've never seen. That's why Deb kicks me out every now and then. Yeah, there's nowhere to go. You're just right there. You go for a walk or whatever. But it was nice. It's always nice going away, but it's nice to come home. We do have another trip coming in a couple weeks, which
If we get the trailer back.
well,
Or we could be
go.
tent camping. Yeah, we can tent camp. The van didn't seem to sustain any damage.
No, the van's running great, and he's got the new engine in the van. So the van's good to go, and he's going to convert the van. Maybe convert the. Oh, you're working on the kitchen.
Yeah, I just started my stepdaughter's kitchen today. We went in and demoed the cabinets and took up the floor. You want to talk about disaster?
Oh, please don't go into all the details of
Well,
my
I'm
kitchen.
not going to go into all the details, but at any rate, long story short, they had to replace the engineered flooring throughout the first floor. We went in and demoed her entire kitchen today, including the floor in there.
You always get disaster demos.
And she had granite countertops. We ended up, because I can't handle an entire L-shaped top, we ended up sledgehammering them into pieces that we could manage and taking them out of the house. But all in all, it's about probably somewhere close to $30,000 worth of work that's going to take place in this house. All because when the house was almost new, someone installed an alarm system. When they did, they drilled through a drain pipe and put an alarm wire right through the drain pipe.
Wow.
And it went undetected for years until a few months ago they noticed their floor started to buckle in the house. And somehow somebody went in and started investigating. They found moldy sheetrock. And
So how long will you be on that job?
I'm going to probably be there a week and a half.
So, but that's probably, I forget when we're going to Assateague.
3 weeks. We're going to 19th.
Now, we've been to Assateague before. We camped right on the beach, which was awesome, except it was really, really hot, and we tent camped, and we had to, like, walk to our site. And, I mean, lugging all that stuff in the heat to our site on the beach was intense. This one's more of like a parking lot camping. And I think this time of year definitely will be cooler. Hopefully the bugs won't be there. So hopefully we'll have it back. If not, I mean, we could tent camp.
I've got
You know.
plenty of tents. And, well,
No, we used to tent camp all the time, but
we tent camp, or I have my bench seats in the van yet, but I could pop those out. We could store all our personal gear behind the bench seats and still have room to sleep in there if we needed to, like if it thunderstormed really bad. Or
in all the travels that we went, on every campground that we went to, when we were at 4, we did not see one converted cargo trailer at what was the first? Kettle Creek. I got all excited. I saw like 3 cargo campers pulling in. I'm like, oh, this is great. And I like start like running down them. And they're not converted. They're toy haulers. They've got a lot of dirt.
they were hauling their quads
The quads. They ride their
because
quads.
they have a lot of ATV and snowmobile trails up there in this part of the state.
Which is nothing wrong with that. It's just we usually like to film converted ones. By the way, Bill, I saw the one you had the other day. That was an awesome bed design. It was pretty cool. We're just not really finding that many of them here, but it's all right. It's all good. We'll find something. We actually had we camped with a lot of tents at the one campground. We were the only camper, and I was like, wow, they were all tents, literally. But our camp is so small, we can fit indoor tents. And we had the people next to us at Selkirk Shores that was on Lake Ontario. They had a tent and a big cage outside of it, and they brought their parrot. I actually took a video of it. Their parrot went camping with them. It was really cool.
And I asked him, I said, how does the parrot like it? And he loves it, or she loves it.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's a first. Oh, and we stopped at a rest stop, and there was a guy, truck driver, bobtailing. And he was traveling. He had both his dog and his cat with him. And he takes the dog out for a walk first. The cat sits up on the dashboard and watches. And then he goes back and he puts the dog inside, puts the cat on a leash and brings it out. Beautiful cat. It looked like an Angora, like a Siamese long-haired cat. But
Well, Bill was saying come to the rendezvous in February. You know, that could be a very strong possibility because
February will probably want to get out of here like you can't believe.
Can you tell us the name of that campground? I know you told me before. This time I'm going to write it down. And I believe it's sold out, but at least the area, what is it, the Panhandle area? Which I've never been to, by the way. Right. Wait, is that the Panhandle or what's that? Oh, like Denton.
Well, up that northwest area of Florida, up above Tampa, yeah, you're getting out on the Panhandle. I've never been out on the Panhandle either. And
Is that called the Panhandle?
yeah, that western area.
Yeah, so let us know the name of it. I mean, yeah, we thought about that too, going to a bunch of like conversion, what do they call it? Where they have get-togethers and stuff, and
The rendezvous or
yeah, and it could be for RVs and campers and all that different thing. The problem, and not that it's a problem, but well, it is for us because we can't find them. But our audience base seems to prefer the tours, and I get that. Okay, but we have a great guy near us, New Jersey Outdoor Adventures, and his whole channel is tours at all kind of RV conversions, boat, van
buses.
conversions, school buses, everything.
And he works for one of the largest Airstream dealerships in the country. So he does some tours on some like vintage Airstreams that people have brought in and have them renovated, and some of the newer Airstream models they come out with. His van itself is I think it's like a 94 Ford, but it's 4-wheel drive, lifted.
Oh, it's
and
awesome.
It's got an Airstream conversion in it.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, you're familiar with him, Bill? Yeah. So he's got a great channel. He's been on for like 10 years, and I reached out to him for collaborating, and he's like, fine, well, we'll do a tour of you, and he did great. He did a good tour of us, and I think that video there's got like 100,000 views.
Yeah, our video on his channel has more views than what we have all together on our channel.
Well, but so here's the thing. He's a great guy. Patrick is a great guy, and he's got a great channel, and I was very happy that he interviewed us. The only problem is when I look at the numbers on the videos, on his video that he took and put on his channel of our camper, it's like amazing. And then I come back and I look at the numbers on our channel, and I'm like, and I know a lot of it is just time. He's got 10 years in this game, and we don't have that. And he really helped our channel grow a lot. We got monetized probably within, I don't know, 5 months, which was pretty quick, I guess.
We look at a lot of the channels and some of them have been very successful in a short amount of time, but we look at how they've succeeded, and Sharon and I both agree neither one of us are going to wear a thong. And
that is not how they do it. Oh, the girls,
Yeah,
the girls.
yeah.
Now it's bad enough I'm in a towel in the bathing suit one, which did really well. I'm telling you, guys with the girls with the bikinis and stuff it's crazy. They just jump on them and look.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to have any kind of worthwhile content in your video. Just if your thumbnail's risque, you get a lot of views. It's what it seems like anyway these days.
But anyway, Patrick's got all the tours, and we're not going to be like Patrick. Okay, that's not what our channel is meant to be. We're kind of in our own unique little niche. I don't know where we fit. I mean, we're obviously in the RV cargo niche, but we're not full-time, and a lot of people are full-timers. We're not full-time. We're not strictly tours. We're kind of just more like the weekend warrior that goes out there and films our stuff. And then I'm trying to get some different stuff like that would be of interest to cargoes, particular, like a cargo dealer or something.
But we do like to share our adventures, particularly some of the.
Yeah, but I don't know if people like to see our adventures.
But most people think that all the beautiful scenery is out in the West and the Dakotas and all these places that for us here in the mid-Atlantic states that's almost like foreign countries. It seems so far away sometimes.
Well, look, we do enjoy it, okay? And I will say this, we were camping before this, and then YouTube came about afterwards. And you do have a different eye. You have a different vision or a view when you're camping, and then you're like, oh, wait, but I got to put this on YouTube. We were down the shore one time, and there were these people putting in these, what are they called? Hobie cats? Those little sailboats.
Right.
And I'm watching them and I'm filming them. And the whole time I'm like, go interview them. Go interview them for your YouTube channel. I'm like, no, our YouTube channel has nothing to do with that. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, but it's B-roll. And I shoot everything for B-roll. It's crazy how you think, but it kind of makes it more fun, more interesting. So we really do enjoy that part of it. We are not going to be strictly a tour channel. It's just it's not there. And although we like doing the tours, if we could find them, we would do them. But last week when we were there, I asked to tour. Sometimes people will turn you down. It was a brand new Airstream, a brand new. It might have been the Bambi model. It was brand new. Mainly, what I try to tour is cargos, of course, or if it's not a cargo, it's going to be anything different or interesting. I have a pop-up on there, but I've never really been in a pop-up that was that huge. We pop-ups, a truck, camper. Some of the vans are neat too, but I think people are just really interested in the conversions and the tours because they want to get ideas. And we did the same thing. We looked at a lot. So when are we starting the van?
Well, the lumber prices are really taking a drop. I don't know if they're going to get much lower, but my thought on it was we plan on using the trailer on this trip here in a couple of weeks. I wasn't going to do anything with that. I'm kind of waiting to see if like lumber and plywood drop a little bit more before I start on it. And then I also don't want to rush this. We want to
think it through?
Well, think it through. I want to also estimate what it's going to cost to do it and exactly how we want it.
Yeah,
For instance, my van has carpet on the floor. And I put that carpet in so it's not that old. It's in pretty good shape. It has gotten a few spots on it. I haven't even tried to clean them yet, but I think it would probably be cleaned up pretty decent. And where it is spotted would be underneath of the bed anyway. But the more and more I think about it, I think I want to put a snap lock floor down in there for the ease of moving things, the ease of cleaning, particularly if we're going in areas where you're tracking sand into it and whatnot.
Well, the van is if we redo the van, well, we talked about that. We started talking about a trip out west, and I believe we talked about spring,
Right.
late spring, because Brian graduates. My grandson's a senior in college, so he'll graduate next May. So I need to be here for that. So I want to go after that for a couple months. So we'll have some downtime in the winter, but that's what we need to work on.
Right.
That, and then I wrote it down, Bill, the Ickatuckney Family Canoe and Cabins. I would like to go out there. I would like to shoot all the cargoes. I know Brian was talking about going out there too. Brian, I haven't heard from. Brian, he's the one with the log cabin cargo that we have on here. I'm gonna try to give him the
Heads up on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna email him. I have his email. Get in touch with him because I'd like to. If we go out to Florida, I'd like to meet up with him. He's nearby. Florida's a huge state. But so we've been on a little over an hour. You think we bored them enough?
I think so.
Does anybody have any pressing questions or anything? Or wait, are you all awake?
I'm kind of interested to go back upstairs and see whether or not there's any houses lying in our yard.
No.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
No, I think we made out fine. Thank God we didn't. So again, we did pick the winner. Miss E.
Ruse.
Yeah. So I don't think she's on right now. So I guess I'll put it in the community tab. I'm not sure how to do that. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody.
And be watching because we've got a lot of videos that we're going to post over the next few weeks with all these different sites that we were at. And trust me, if you want to see something really gorgeous in the Northeast, that Kettle Creek Vista is just, it's one of the most beautiful vistas that I've ever seen anywhere in the Northeast.
And if you haven't watched his bear video, yes, I know it's sad. Some people are like, oh, I can't watch it, but there's nothing gory in it. Actually, there's some humor in it. There's some funny parts in it. So it's kind of light. It is kind of interesting that a 12-year-old shoot a bear. But
You got to remember, this was like 50 some years ago, and I grew up in Potato Valley, and that's what we did there.
they ate potato now.
We
They
ate
grew
bear.
potatoes and they ate bear. So, all right, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining our live stream. A lot of videos are coming up. I got a lot of editing to do. I don't know when we're going to go live again. I believe I'm going to have another builder on soon. I talked to her and I have to get in touch with her. I'm not going to say who it is. I may have already said it, but so I'm going to try to be getting somebody on pretty soon. Maybe that'll be the next one. Probably maybe towards the end of the month. Okay.
And probably after we come back from Maryland.
Well, maybe because I forgot you have surgery.
Well, it's still swing that in.
Okay. All right. Good night, everybody. Stay safe. Happy camping. Thank you so much.
Take care, though.
Oh, wait. We still got. Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, Les Olson. I didn't see. All right. Thank you, Les. I'll see you soon. Thanks, Hubcaps. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care now. All right. I'm ending it here.